Okie dokie. Gonna take some time here to go through open positions in a video for two reasons. We saw markets kind of gap up very oddly on Thursday. Um, I hate to be the one that just says I don't trust it, but that was quite the gap. And I think it might be, you know, something where Monday I kind of have to watch, and Tuesday, Monday night to Tuesday, get a better idea for potential new swings. So, just in case you may be in on some of these alerts with me, and or maybe you just didn't follow the alert and you want to see how they're doing so that you can choose whether or not you would enter further alerts like this. I want to go through this. First off, AK Steel. I'm going to switch it over first to our daily chart. AK Steel, we got in off of this support level at $6.10. We sold half of our position in here, half the remaining a couple days ago. So we're actually sitting here looking at only being in 1/4 of the initial position, which is fine. We've made some good money on it. Switching over here to the weekly chart on AK Steel, though, you see now that we've gotten a weekly close above this point, we could realistically see, right up into this 991 or so. I doubt I'll be chasing it for that. I may take some more, on a retest of one of these swing points, is where I'd take some more. But what I'm going to do, and you can see it a lot easier here on the daily chart. This close here, this 748. I'm going to give it a few pennies, and I entered a stop in at 744. Good till canceled. I know that's over $1 move down that I'm going to let my shares go, but holding what I have left, I'm okay with that personally. And that's another point where I'd love to add some. If I could get 750, 760, I'd probably add a full position again. So that being considered, I just want you guys to have an update of my trading plan for the rest of that active position. AMD, we rode this one up. We bought puts, sold the puts down there near the bottom. Made a jump up here. Thursday was actually kind of an ugly day, but it recovered pretty well from the lows, still to close kind of right at that point I was talking about before that could have been a head and shoulders had we not broke it. So I'm going to be watching this one pretty closely tomorrow to determine whether or not I want to take puts or not. And also, if I do take puts, because it is a lower low, or a lower high, this would be the opportunity to sell covered calls. So if I decide to do that, I'll make sure to put the alert out there so those following the position will have an idea of what we're doing with it. Amazon, AMZN. If you look at this from how it closed up Friday, it actually closed just above the breakout point on this little weird looking cup and handle. That could actually be really good for us. I put the alert out. 307.28 was the buy price for common shares. I just didn't really like the options. It was over here on June 4th. So watching that, I really don't have a stop in mind. I'm letting this one kind of develop for a little while, and then we'll start engaging pretty heavily on covered calls to make some money, very good money, for those that took the commons with us on Amazon. I have people ask me a lot about ARR. This is a dividend play, not a chart play for me. And I personally just keep reinvesting my dividend. I keep buying more and more shares every time I get a dividend. It's a monthly 5-cent per share dividend. So, it's very, very easy to just take the time, reinvest the dividend. Within 2 years at the most, your whole position's free, and then it can be an income stock for you. So those that are in that one, don't stare at the chart day to day. It's not about that at all. We're in at least month by month for the dividend. Bank of America, though it had quite the pullback Thursday, it has broken above this gap point So it filled that gap. It's closed above it now. Kind of watching that. I'll be watching tomorrow. Those following the business of me plan and this trade that we started doing with that. If it were to make a bit of a pullback tomorrow and give that evening star, I would take some in the money puts, probably August $17 or $18 puts. And when you're in the common shares, there's a lot less risk in taking those puts. But I don't want to get rid of those shares. It's been a healthy position. We've been able to work our average down a couple times now with selling puts and using the profit from those to add more shares. BLDP. I jumped the gun the other day when it was charging up, but that being said, got a lower average on it, and we already took profits once, so I'm not worried about it. But I'd be watching BLDP still this week for the potential of that breakout, which you could see it with plug or FCell as well. They all three like to go together. But if you're in BLDP with me, I'm not worried that I bought at, it was 429 when I bought, and it came back down below there because my average is still 382. And that's even considering the over $1 per share profit I took on the half the position on the last time we sold it. So BLDP still treating us real good. I'm perfectly happy with it. DAL, kind of a pain in the butt. Tuesday had a real big strong day to break above the W. Gap down on Wednesday. Thursday it just kind of held in line. This is a longer term position. It's still holding. You can see here this little base level of support. I'm going to let it do that. If you're getting worried about it, move your stop to 27 or 37.90 or 37. So you can go 37.95 because that would be when it failed this level of support here. After the profits on our last swing of it, I'm still okay on it. It was just a little bit of an annoyance last week to see it have such a good day and then Wednesday and Thursday fall and give all of it back. So besides that, I'm still pretty okay with it. I'm going to be holding it for a while still. GE, had that gap up on Thursday. I don't know if we'll get any continuation. It wouldn't surprise me to see GE fill the gap, but still holding the long. I've been long in GE for so long it's ridiculous, but I love the stock. I'm going to continue with it, and if I sell it, it'll be probably just even a partial sell and something in line with this channel that I have drawn here that would make me sell it. So, something under $26. GTAT made that breakout play last week. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come down and retest, around $19, $19.15 or so. If it did that and made the bounce, it's hard to say that'd be a good fresh entry. But it's going to take a lot for me to actually sell my shares, my remaining shares in GTAT. I'm down to a pretty partial position from what I originally had, and I hate to say it this way, I'd probably hold it all the way down to that 1274 and still be up over 50% on those. So kind of waiting on my remaining position with GTAT until I really feel like there's a good opportunity presented itself to load up some more of them. JASO, my solar stock that I'm in right now, it's been slow and boring, but not enough to make me want to dump it. So holding JASO still up on the average, still happy with that. So no problems with that. RAD, I took the July $6 calls into the earnings. The earnings really weren't what I expected, but RAD had a really good day on Thursday. Still holding the calls. I put them up, about 40% or so. I haven't decided yet if I want the shares now after that earnings, but I've got time. I've still got another couple weeks until the options I have expire. So depending on how they're doing, I might still exercise those and take the common shares. That's the beauty of trading options in lieu of common shares like we're doing on this one. We already defined our risk from the get-go. It's actually held up well. It didn't have the big gap up we would have really been amazed by for earnings, but it's held up well. It's doing what you'd like to see a stock do. I'm not troubled by it whatsoever, and we'll see how it goes over the next couple weeks or so to decide what I'm going to do with those shares. Wells Fargo, WFC, just still holding this. Actually, if you look at the chart, it could break out again this week on an ascending triangle. So I will not play puts on my Wells Fargo position just because they haven't really done well when I've watched them in the past. It's just been a position where holding on to the common shares has been the right thing to do. Up $10 a share since the alert, and still holding. So really like this WFC position for those of you trading longer term common stock with me. Winnebago, WGO. I'm actually hoping it comes back a little more so that I can buy the rest of my position. It kind of took off pretty good last week. We'll see how it goes. There will always be another low to buy more shares off of. But Winnebago, definitely liking this position. Definitely happy with the progress on it so far. And still holding. Walter, WLT. Finally entered this one last week. We've talked about it for a while, and I kind of waited. And apparently the day that I bought was a good day to buy because we had two nice up days since our entry. 561 is my average per share. We're sitting at 633, so I'm definitely liking this position already. If you took it with me, you're probably pretty happy about it as well. So with Walter, I kind of got this trend line going on it here. Any touch of that trend line is going to have me just buying more. If you remember, I actually only took a partial position, so kind of wishing I would have taken more, but it is what it is, and I'm still happy that I'm trading according to the trade plan on that. Got a lot of these longer term positions, common stock positions, so they're all sitting real pretty, and happy with the progress on them so far. And finally, XOM. Sold the puts I had the other day because they were the July monthlies, and obviously any up move might not have a chance to make it back. But you see the trend line I had that had failed, and it came back, and Thursday it just kind of retested and pulled back from it. I'll be watching this tomorrow for the opportunity to maybe take August 105 calls, or 105 puts, I'm sorry. But keeping these common shares, it's going to take a lot for me to get rid of the common shares in XOM. Real good position. And through the, we had a 90.04 buy, and, we literally caught this bottom down here. And, even got our average down lower than that. I'm sitting with an 88.91 average based on my capital from where we've sold puts and put that profit back into more shares. So really pleased with the XOM position. Long term is really proven to be the most dependable, and that's why I wanted to put this out, let you guys know what we are in. If you log into the member area, you'll see a data spreadsheet there. That's actually a pull from the account, the portfolio account that I use to trade all the member alerts with the coaches roster. So, you can check with my positions, see what I've got going there. And really, XOM's kind of doing okay, but it's at that zone where we will need to watch it tomorrow. So basically what I got here is, with the market that jumped up more than I thought it should have jumped up at the end of last week, and some stocks kind of sitting at resistance points, I've got a few of my long-term positions that I do have to babysit tomorrow. I have to get that observation. Obviously, I probably won't do anything with those until later in the day, once I'm closer to the close and can really make that validation on what they're doing. Aside from that, we got a lot of stuff that we're just holding nice on through the summertime. Those that have followed these longer term and common share alerts, we're really sitting in a position that, well above and beyond the peers. A lot of people just avoid trading in the summer, and here you see several positions that we're up a very healthy amount on, and looking pretty good. So let's keep looking for positions like these, because these are always good opportunities for slower summer trading, and always good opportunities in general. When you own something as opposed to just the options. And I love trading options, so don't get me wrong, but owning something, even though it's a bit slower, has always been safer.